Hey everyone, welcome back to 996 The Howl for some housekeeping. Only 7 games left at Glendale. So, if you want to spend a $45 Uber ride from downtown Phoenix to Glendale, go out there, support the team. You might not know when the next time you're going to see the Coyotes live is, with regards to limited access to the new arena in terms of tickets. We don't know the future of the Coyotes, after those 3 or 4 years in that small capacity arena. So, 7 games left. Go out there, support the team. And what better way than to kick it off with Ekman-Larsson and Connor Garland coming back Thursday night to Gila River Arena with the Vancouver Canucks. But let's get into it. It's been a bit of a shambolic recent time for the Coyotes. The Keller injury is still pretty huge. Every time I think about the Coyotes, just it's gnawing at me, like seeing Keller go down, and how hurt the team was and the fans were. And then Friday night, the whole situation with Jay Beagle and the Anaheim Ducks, which shouldn't be a big deal at all. Like things like that happen a lot of times in the NHL. So I think that got too much of headline news across the league. And then a good win against Chicago on Sunday, and then back down to earth in a rough loss against St. Louis. So let's see what happened. Because they were good. They were playing entertaining. I was making videos about how good they were. Everything was up and up for the Coyotes, even though they were losing before this, March 1st, when they had that long homestand. They were losing games, but they were competitive and playing on an entertaining game. But let's get into it. This team's decimated with injuries. Like, it's actually ridiculous how almost every position and line and situation, power play, penalty kill, you name it, defensive face-off, there's injuries impacting all of those situations. And credit to the coaching staff for trying to keep this team afloat, to keep their heads above water. But look at these guys that are injured. You got Clayton Keller, of course. Lawson Krause injured. Then you have a lot of depth players that are injured in Fisher, Roussel, O'Brien, and Ladd. And then McBain is here. He's never really suited for the Coyotes, so he's still an extra. His 1 year contract, it's 2 years, but his first year of the contract is only going to be, 10 games long? Pretty ridiculous. Even the new Finnish goaltender, who I think just started practicing, his whole contract is going to be 10 games for the Coyotes. They got 12 games left in 23 days. So hopefully we see McBain and the Finnish goaltender, I'm forgetting his name, I think it's Satiri. Hopefully they come back soon, because we're paying them money and they're not going to be playing too many games this season with the Coyotes sweater. McBain's got a full season next year, and then he becomes a restricted free agent, and hopefully the Coyotes could sign him, or at least he's guaranteed 1 more year if it goes to arbitration. But even though these depth guys are injured, as you see over here, everyone in green is their replacement, and they're all Tucson Roadrunners, and that's the problem. It's not like we went out on the waiver wire or made a trade. You can't make trades post deadline to get in NHL level players. I mean, these replacements are all Tucson Roadrunners. They're very inexperienced in NHL. I mean, you have so many of those types of players on your roster. Just bad things happen. Just the inexperience and lack of a 60-minute effort that the American Hockey League players usually carry with them. It hasn't been ironed out yet with these players. Michelli at times is doing some good things. Yannick had 2 goals against San Jose last week, but since then has been really quiet. Carcone had a goal against the Blackhawks and the Flames a couple weeks ago, but we need more consistency out of these players, but I honestly think it's too much to ask. These are just replacement players. I would like to see some more consistency out of the top end guys like Michelli and Yannick. But for Carcone and Fasching, it's a bad time when Hudson Fasching is in your lineup. Whenever I see him on the lineup sheet, I know I'm in for a rough one. So hopefully we get some of these guys back, like Fisher and Roussel, O'Brien, those energy and NHL just players who know how to play the right way and, cause some havoc. They don't need to go out and score goals. They just need to keep the puck out of their end or out of their net and, make a statement against the opposition, throw some hits, get into some scrums after the whistle. These Roadrunner guys aren't going to do that. And, after that Keller injury of Michelli on the top line, he's never really going to replace Keller. I would like him to shoot more because he's got a world-class shot from what I've seen from highlights in the Finnish league over these years. But it seems on the Coyotes, he's playing too much with the puck, trying to dangle, trying to make passing plays, just shoot the puck. It's like Barrett Hayton has an awesome shot too, but we just rarely see it. These guys got to get confident with their shots. I'm worried. Well, I'm not worried. I'm hopeful that a guy like Dylan Guenther, who has an elite shot, a world class. I think I said that about Michelli, but Guenther has a way better shot than Michelli. When he comes in on the Coyotes, he should only be shooting the puck. None of this playmaking, dangling. You have that weapon in your arsenal. You need to use it. We need sharpshooters on this team. I know Michelli and Hayden have it in them, but they like to hold on to the puck and make some plays. Not to be so down on Hayden. I think he's doing a respectable job. He's growing much better than he was with Tocchet. But missing out on all those players, especially on the defensive side, it goes to show. Yanis Moser was drafted this summer, or last summer, so like 6 to 8 months ago now. But it goes to show how a draft pick could just substantially help your lineup, and so fast too. Drafted in 2021 in the summer, like I said, immediately once he was called up to the Coyotes, being a great defensive defenseman, really solidifying the D-core, playing really well with whoever it was. It might have been Ghost, it might have been Chikrin at times, but when he came out of the lineup due to an injury, we really felt it. It's such a glaring problem that the defense are just giving too much time and space to the opposition. In front of the net, they're not battling, and just they collapse for certain moments of games, and these NHL teams who are ready for the playoffs are just going to pounce on you and score really fast and lethally. So you have Dineen and Capobianco replacing Moser and Chikrin. That's not going to help. I'm disappointed in how Capobianco is playing. I'm liking Dineen all right, better than Capobianco. It also goes to show that Dyson Mayo is an NHLer now. He started the season with the Roadrunners. He was a replacement for the Timmins injury, but he solidified himself as an NHL defenseman. He's very good defensively. Really liking him. I mean, it shows how without Chikrin and Moser, Mayo's the next man up as a great defender. I would put him there with Stroman as just great defenders, blocking shots, blocking passes, breaking up plays. He's really good, and I appreciate that from him. I'm not looking for offense. I'm just looking for good defensive play, and he earned it with that extension he signed a couple months ago. I'm not seeing that defensive play with Capobianco. He's up in the rush too much, getting caught, not playing well defensively. Denis kind of slows it down and is a bit more timid in terms of offense and going for the rush. So I like that about Denis. Could be a bit better. But and you have Kolyachon up there, who's also a Roadrunner, who also started this season on the Roadrunners. He's still okay. He's slightly better than Dineen, but I'm still not really confident with him in the lineup. I mean, the NHL is not a developmental league like Tyson Nash likes to say. When you play in the NHL, you should be ready. You need to give 110% every game. You can't waste time learning the game. That's what the American League is for. You got to come out with these games and play hard, play a full 60, and earn your spot in the lineup. But, there's no one else to take these spots from these players. You have Soderstrom, who got called up for like 6 hours the other day on the St. Louis game day. He got called up in the morning and then got sent back down. There's basically only Soderstrom and McCartney that are left on the Roadrunners. The rest, they just pulled everyone out from the Roadrunners. So these players are pretty comfortable. They know there's no one behind them that's going to take their spots. If I'm Capobianco, I'd be scared. Soderstrom is a highly skilled defenseman who needs to get it going, and he's next in line. And Capobianco's been, pegged down the depth chart for a while now, so this may be his last stop, his last 12 games in the NHL. Let's go with what was going good with the team. So the first half of March, they were 6-1-0. They scored 37 goals in that half of March in those 7 games. To put that in perspective, they had 27 goals in February, the whole month. So in half a month from 27, they went to 37. And then the last half of March from 15 to 31, they only had 14 goals. So they were scoring at half the rate. And you can see here the goals for per game was 5.28. They were just scoring at will. The goals were coming so easy for them. They were scoring so many ways, skillful ways, in front of the net, stick on the ice, dirty goals. They were just having an easy time scoring. Their shooting percentage was off the charts, 21% in 7 games, as opposed to the last 10 games. It's down at 7.08. The league average is 9.7. The Coyotes overall for the whole season is at 9.8. So just 2% lower than what the Coyotes should be shooting at and league average. So they're having a rough time scoring, 1.8 goals per game in the last 10 games. They're facing good teams sometimes, good goalies. In these games, they were facing like Detroit, Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto. Colorado was in there, but they only won 2-1. But, they had a good stretch of games here. I thought they would take that next step and learn from that and not continue the pace, but just make it easier for them to score. Get that third goal would be much more easier for them. But, lately they're only scoring 1 goal. They're getting shut out. They're scoring 2 goals. They're not really having the offensive confidence like they had from March 1st to 15th. Their goals against, it's always bad, but at least it was 3.0 in the first half of March, and now it's up back to 3.8. We traded Wedgwood, which was a good trade, but Vejmelka's playing too many games. There's no one behind him. We're waiting for that Finnish goaltender. He got his visa completed. Now he's practicing with the team. But really disappointed in Kozhinash and Prosvetov, how they played. Prosvetov had a great first period against St. Louis, but I don't know. The way he was tracking pucks that game, very concerning. Whenever the puck went behind the net and then went out to the front of the net, he was lost. It took him a half second more than usual to recognize where the puck went, and the St. Louis players were just picking their shots. St. Louis missed 2 open nets in the first period. They hit the post, so it could have been a worse score sheet, but really disappointed in Prosvetov's game, that game. I remember he had a great game against the Avalanche when they lost in overtime or in shootout, but it's unfortunate he couldn't continue that experience and play from that game against St. Louis. I'm also wondering why the coaching staff refuses to play Prosvetov against weak teams. They had Chicago on Sunday. Could have played him against Chicago, but they decided to throw him against, third in the division, St. Louis, who's ready for the playoffs. It still makes me wonder why this always happens with Prosvetov. Last season thrown against Vegas all the time and the Avalanche. So hoping for, an easy game for him to get. I'm pretty sure he hasn't won a game in the NHL. Could be wrong. I didn't really double check that, but I don't remember Prosvetov winning a game. Just that really good game he had against the Avalanche a couple months ago in Denver. So that's it. It's been a rough time. 2-7-1 in their last 10 games. If you're a team tank, it's probably good for the tank. The lottery is going to be May 16th, so we're about a month away. The lottery odds will be officially decided once the season is over. Every time I go in the simulation, it shows you have 16% chance to win first overall, but I think that increases once the season's over just because of where teams land. I could be wrong with that too, but if it's only 16% to win first overall, that's not really good odds if you finish last. I'm pretty sure it's higher than that. Just a simulation maybe had an error or something, but this is the lineup, this is the roster. Really missing some key guys here. Andrew Ladd's he was in the lineup against Chicago and then not in the lineup on St. Louis. I don't know it's a long-term injury or what happened there. If they only wanted to play him because it was in Chicago and it was a special moment, we'll see. But even a guy like Ladd, even though he's not really good, he does the right things. Just like Erickson. I mean, he's not good, but he rarely makes mistakes. He knows to keep the puck out of his net and just dump it in when the time calls for it, and rarely causes many turnovers. That's it for me. Hopefully we get a good game Thursday night against Vancouver. It's going to be an emotional one. The first time Ekman-Larsson and Garland have come back to Arizona. So we'll see. Vancouver, they're out of the playoffs. I don't know why they didn't sell at the deadline. I kept saying they should sell. Didn't sell. And now they're in mediocrity hell, like most teams do when they don't really commit to a full rebuild. And that was most likely our trajectory if we didn't go in this rebuild, was to always finish in the bubble of the playoffs and never really do much damage in the playoffs. My voice, jeez. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, spread the word. And as always, thank you for your support.